Okay. Oh, hello, it's Helen Reid here. And I have with me today Gigi, who is the Earth Body Priestess. And she guides women back into their bodies. And we're here to have a really delicious conversation about evolving orgasms and Gigi's journey around this whole topic. So welcome, Gigi. It's so amazing to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we connected like maybe, I don't know, like a year ago or maybe a bit more than a year ago. A mutual friend like put us in contact with each other. I think when I rebranded the podcast as Legs Wide Open, and then she said, "Oh, you two probably should connect."
Yeah. There's a resonance.
Yeah. And then I remember like checking out your profile. I was like, "Oh, and she's English."
Yeah, that's a big one. That is actually kind of a big one to recognize, isn't it? Because on the online space, it's kind of hard to find those Brits. We seem to be hiding.
Yeah, people like Brits that are talking about sexuality and like reclaiming our bodies as women. It's very taboo, isn't it, in the polite British society?
We are like blasting it open. I'm still holding it down over here. I'm actually in the UK, which I just want to say, actually, I had so many moments where I was like, I want to get out because it just felt so dense. Approaching this subject all the time, especially where I am in rural, wild North Norfolk, which is kind of like Cornwall, but for, the East Anglia, because it's on the edge of the country. It's like there's nowhere else to go. So there's kind of that sense of people are still a little bit, slow to receive the information or the updates or whatever you want to say. But yeah, it's actually been a really powerful journey for me to stay in this place and actually stay with myself and stay in my body. Actually, it's helped me to reconnect even deeper with my earth body, connecting with my ancestry in the land where my grandmother, my mother was born, which feels really important because I've been doing a lot of ancestral healing work on my feminine line and my masculine line. But yeah, I've been really working with Norfolk especially, which my grandmother was born in Walsingham, which is the pilgrimage site to Mother Mary in the UK, and it's a very multi-dimensional space to be in. It's very much like a portal, I would say, of divine feminine energy. So I've been really working with that consistently over the last 6 years, which is why I felt really called to stay there. There was something about me learning and being initiated through this divine feminine energy that I was receiving from my ancestral lineage, and also, Walsingham itself, which is a very healing, soft, opening, receptive place. It's really special. If you haven't been, I would highly recommend it. But there are also, some people don't resonate because of on the outside it's very religious, which is why people go there. But actually, if you go a little bit deeper, you can connect with the sort of original energy of the Divine Mother. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in. That felt like I wanted to come through.
Yeah, you haven't shared that before, and when we've been chatting, and that feels like I kind of can't wait when I go to the UK because I am not holding the flag down in the UK. I'm insane. And I can resonate with it. Feels very powerful what you're talking about. And going back, I went back during, like quarantine times, and I found it so dense. And even like the kind of summers that I've spent there, like I found really challenging and really powerful. So I can resonate with with what you, especially I guess over the last couple of years, it I guess has been pretty full on. And now I have family in Norfolk, so I'm very excited to go back. I haven't been to Walsingham, so
you haven't been.
No.
Oh my gosh, we have to meet there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really important.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
I felt very much like a bit of a guide for Walsingham as well, like sort of opening up and inviting people in through a different lens, because there is a lot of resistance to it if you're, maybe you just don't resonate with wanting to go to a pilgrimage site, which also is absolutely, absolutely fine. But I felt very much like I've been asked to sort of open it up and to bring that perspective of the divine feminine, which is kind of what I've been, working with, moving through this very kind of dense patriarchal energy that has been moving through that place, and bringing through the Mary Magdalene codes. That's really what I've been doing. I feel like I've been walking the Divine Mother's voice into that place alongside, to balance. There's definitely been a depth of that, because also I've been visiting churches here, and I mean Norfolk has the most churches in it, the whole of England. There are so many churches here, and I've just been connecting with so many around Norfolk. I felt like that was also what I was doing, was kind of weaving this feminine energy, and that's kind of a rabbit hole we could go down around why the churches would be placed where they are, but grid work essentially, which is also a big part of what I am called to do as well, with moving the divine feminine through the grid of the earth.
I guess I feel called to expand on it a little bit, even though we will dive into the topic of the day. But it's all really relevant, isn't it? It's this I think a lot of the reason, well, the core reason for me anyway, like moving away or never really being able to explore and reclaim my body and really drop into my womanhood has been this, as you say, this grid, that the energetic grid of society and the land has all been, it's there are all these, the field is very masculine, and so and has been, and so throughout my upbringing that's what I kind of tuned into and flowed with. And then the reclaiming of the feminine is, like you say, it's coming back to these is a remembrance of something which is I've heard it described as the river beneath the river. It's it's always been there, and it's always been kind of we can feel it in our bones almost, we can I think feel it in our bones, and it's this resonance that can't really be explained. And so it feels really powerful for you, describing the work that you're doing to really have this ripple effect in the field in the UK and beyond, because obviously it will go way beyond there. To maybe set the stage for more people to feel that resonance more easily.
Definitely. I feel like that's why I've been so called to the body, as this work is very much a reclamation of our bodies, of taking up space, like you said, like as children, not feeling, oh, where's the space for me to move into my feminine expression here? Oh, it's not there. There isn't a space for it. We haven't been provided with the space for it. With, you know, the wisdom and the knowledge, which, you know, thankfully we are now reclaiming. I feel as a collective, bringing through all this wisdom around our menstrual cycles, and, you know, as women really kind of deepening into that, so that hopefully our children will have more information. But yeah, it felt like it was buried. It's kind of like it was such a mysterious thing kind of coming to this work, because you're sort of searching for, like, where is the information? And then it becomes this quest of, like, well, how, you know, it's kind of exciting because you know that it's there, but you haven't been shown, here are all the books on da, 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 da. So you sort of go on your own, like, quest to find the voice of the feminine. And that's actually been quite exciting for me on, you know, on one level. Obviously there's been quite a lot of grief and rage and you know, emotional reclamation as well that's happened within me because of feeling cut off from that. But yeah, it's a really beautiful journey to go on, to reconnect with the feminine. It really is. And taking up space in the body again, and actually activating that energy within us, you know, and then it really helps with the masculine energy too. And that's been my journey with it, starting with the feminine, and that's helped my masculine energy too.
I have a similar experience, that, like, the feminine is, for me, is kind of like creating the fertile soil for the, I mean, maybe even the seed is there first, or the soil is there and then the seed gets planted in there. But it's like this beautiful dance, isn't it, between the masculine and the feminine? But if the feminine heart isn't open to being, like, penetrated by the masculine, then it doesn't, then there isn't enough energy for the masculine to, like, work with, I guess. There needs to be this openness.
Yeah, we need to know where we're directing that masculine energy and how. And that's what the feminine has taught me, is, like, you know, what am I doing with this masculine energy? Because when we're just in our masculine energy, it wants to know where it's going, essentially, at the core, doesn't it? Masculine energy wants to know where it's going. It kind of knows it wants to go, but it needs to be guided by this feminine counterpart. And if it doesn't know where it's going, that's where it can just become like it's driving you crazy, which is what we see, you know, in the world, is that this kind of crazy, over stimulated masculine energy predominantly. And yeah, for me, that it's just been so healing for me and my own experience to soften and to know my feminine, to come home. It's like, it's a total homecoming for me. I always talk about coming home to the body, coming home to the feminine, coming home to, you know, feeling like you have this delicious soil, earth, that is holding you and is part of you.
So could you just share a little bit about your story? So, like, how, and I guess probably with through the kind of lens of the like, how you're, I mean, it feels kind of like we'll just dive straight in. How your orgasms have evolved, and, like, what your journey has been like in terms of this, like, coming home to your body, and really what has your experience been in relation to orgasms? I'll just make it really open so that then you can.
It's very much been around looking at myself and actually remembering I'm my own person. This is my body. This is, my space to get curious about. And yeah, for me, it's been really looking at myself and getting curious about my body. And my body has guided me as to where I need to go. And womb work was like pretty soon after I started my healing journey, when I trained as a sound healer in Bali. And so then I did a lot of clearing out of my energy, like clearing out a lot of emotional density that I was storing and holding on to, a lot of stress, anxiety. It really helped with depression. I had a lot of felt just very heavy after living in London for many years and kind of not feeling connected to my body and trying to escape my body with drinking and just everything that was available there. So when I started to kind of really clean out and bring awareness to my body with my sound healing, I then could go a little bit deeper. Okay, so now I know I'm in my body and I'm feeling, more of a resonance with my emotions, and I'm curious about myself. Now where am I going? And so when I started using my singing bowls in sessions, it just initially started as men and women, but then I just felt, myself wanting to work with women, wanting to really connect with that feminine energy, and so wanting to connect with the source of the feminine. And so the womb, I just kept coming back to the womb. Oh, the womb, wow, the womb, oh, it's so powerful. Sexuality, my own sexual energy, what is, all of this, and kind of following my intuition, which I feel is kind of how we really, end up exploring more, is that we follow those signs. And so yeah, then I just started working with women around their wombs and kind of really seeing a correlation between a lot of like stuck emotional physical things that would manifest in the physical around the womb space. And so I was working with my own womb space and really just like deepening into that with the singing bowls, because I find them just so powerful to open up and clear through energy. And then with crystals as well. And then what happened was, then I sort of, because I was already very sexually, like, just very interested in exploring my sexuality in all different ways, and that was a different kind of exploration when I was in London. More like going to Torture Garden and to all these places of like kink and other things. And then, so I'm just generally like that as a person. And so then when I went a bit deeper and realized that I felt numb, actually, after going deeper into the energetics and actually being able to sit with myself and be present with my womb, what was actually there? Oh, there was a lot of numbness. And because of really predominantly using a vibrator for my self pleasure, I realized that actually that didn't feel good anymore. It felt like checking out. It felt like I wanted to actually escape my body. I just wanted a quick release. And so then I found yoni wands, crystal yoni wands, and that really opened up a lot for me, of the de-armoring process, of really, sitting with myself and not needing someone else to be part of that. And yeah, it sort of deepened and deepened with my exploration with that. Again, my intuition was just showing me, well, do this and then do this, and everything kind of presents itself. But really I had a lot of emotional release when I was using the yoni wands, really actually physically being able to connect with my womb, really actually feeling her again, bringing sensation and aliveness and emotion to my experience again, and just feeling like, wow, my life is changing from this place. And then exploring deeper with, you know, the orgasm, and then bringing through this powerful cosmic energy where I felt, you know, it was I was connecting with myself. So then I was connecting with soul and spirit and God, because I wasn't looking for someone else to be doing that, because I was so interested in how can I connect deeper with myself. So then this kind of this interest in connecting with my body and with God and with my sexual energy, and that's powerful. And how can I kind of, you know, get more of that? So yeah, it was a real honoring of myself. And I had to sort of, well, not had to, but I chose to carve out time to really do this for me. I think that's a really big piece of the puzzle when we're reclaiming our bodies, or we're interested in reclaiming our sexuality, our bodies, our pleasure, is that we're going to have to carve out time for that and be pretty diligent in doing that, because it won't just happen. And I think that that's really important, that we need to create a safe container for ourselves and really, you know, really honor and devote time to us as women, because also the storyline is that, you know, we have to do everything for everyone else, and that we need to be available for everyone else before ourselves. And I feel like this pleasure connection, connecting with your womb, connecting with your sexuality, having a sacred practice really supports you to shift the way in which you're connecting with your other relationships. So healing a deeper level of the mother wounding, and really bringing that kind of vital feminine energy online within you. So that was an absolute must, as part of my exploration, was that I'm doing this for me, and this is for me, and I'm gonna like commit to that.
Yeah, that's massive, isn't it? As a woman, it's and it sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but it's just something that's like so accepted. Yeah, and I think that that's really important, what you've that point around that this isn't just, because it can make it, and even you know, me focusing this topic on orgasms, it's like I know that women are interested in orgasms and pleasure, and so it's kind of a headline like, you know, that's kind of sexy and interesting, what's that? But this isn't, that's not the whole story. There's like such, in order to really like open sexually in a, you know, and open our yonis in this, like, is a really vulnerable and like it's a really powerful and beautiful and at times really hard path to walk. And like you say, there's so much emotional work, and our wombs are like this storage place, aren't they, for like generations of trauma and pain and density, that like you have to be kind of called to it, I think, like, and ready for it, and you'll know when you're ready. It's like this, like, you just, like you say, like following your intuition and following this call, and it will probably feel scary because your body knows where it's going, and it's kind of got to go into this deep like cave where you can experience the numbness that maybe you've been you say checking out from, and like, okay, I'm gonna sit with this, and it's we just haven't been trained as humans to sit with that kind of discomfort. So it's but then the rewards are like the flip side of it is just insane. Like the like that level of connection and that level of beingness in the body, and it's like it opens to like deeper penetration of life force. And so like what that's just the most invigorating and like exceptional kind of experience that I just want everyone to have. But there's groundwork to be done for that.
I love that point around the womb just stores everything, because I think I got to the point I was just so done with taking on other people's energy. I think that really is what's happening as well. The mother is fucking done. She's sick of just taking on everyone's energy. And there's a sense of like fierceness in that, which, I've worked through resisting that myself, that fierce mother where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to feel that. But then also kind of embodying that and embracing that for my boundaries, and for really understanding that I'm a sacred vessel. And the depth of that work, like you said, it's just, gosh, you really have to feel the call. It's not light work. You can, there are in a way there are practices that you can do if you're just interested in sexuality, definitely, with working with yoni wands or yoni eggs and doing the practices. And so there is a kind of, a lighter way if you're not feeling that depth of, soul calling, which I feel is what I was going through. But when you go deeper with those practices, the things will come up to process whatever is right for you and your journey. But yeah, for me, it was very much this is a soul embodiment piece that you are being taken on, because this is also your role, is to offer support for other women. So I was, my story, it's very much that I felt like I needed to sell my body as well. So I was very much like split from owning my body and feeling like, I was owned by someone else. And that's been a big storyline for me to work through. A lot of lessons. And I feel that's why, for me personally, there's such a depth to it, because I feel like I've really reclaimed, that sense of ownership of myself. Because I did feel that I had to please, that I had to be acceptable, that I had to be validated by a man, by a relationship, by, the way that I looked, or the way that I presented myself, or the way that I acted, in accordance to what was acceptable as sexy, that like what. And when I've just gone deeper and deeper into myself, the more that's just dissolved naturally. That's not even something that I was necessarily thinking, well, I want to kind of like let go of these layers of feeling acceptable. There was that, but there's been more of that I didn't realize that would just dissolve naturally. Like the more you just take away your focus from the external and the validation, and you turn your focus inwards, that's just when so much dissolves, because you truly are choosing you. And so you're not giving the external your energy anymore. And that's deeply powerful. And tending to your own needs, and even, if it's just sitting with your hands on your womb and just actually connecting with her. A big part of my process and what I hold space for with other women is actually allowing your body to speak to you. What does your body want to say? And that's huge. Giving space for what is your womb actually wanting to express to you. And there can be a lot of, release with that. Maybe she's angry, maybe she's feeling, unheard, unseen, just like sadness, deep grief, and giving space for that to be spoken through your voice. That in itself is a huge release and healing, which I found actually to be a really important part of the process, is to give voice to your body.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And that's something, like, going back to like the lighter practices, like if you feel called but you feel a bit intimidated by this, feeling like deep layers of density and emotion, then just starting by like connecting physically with your body, like through touch, through just like sitting with your hand connected to your womb, and just offering even like 30 seconds of space and time, just like carving out. When we say carving out time, it doesn't even need to be like you don't need to go on like a 3-week retreat, but you can you can really like make like really, really little shifts that can have a big ripple in terms of reconnecting with your body. I found that to be, especially with kids, with having like lots of moving parts in my life, like having just those little tweaks have been kind of set in motion a whole other like trajectory almost.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, okay, I'm ready now. Even if it's, as you said, 30 seconds of connecting with your womb, you're saying, I'm ready. And then it's like building a habit, isn't it? Or building a routine. If the 30 seconds is what you feel you can do and that feels good for you, then building on that. And then normally what happens is your intuition again brings through, or more support, or you feel, actually, I would like support with this, or whatever it is. It really is just that, like, I'm saying yes to me. And then what's right for you will reveal itself. Because I don't want to be like, oh, there's this huge thing that you have to do, because that's not everyone's journey either. That's just mine. But it is, the potency of that is, I mean, it's utterly life-changing. It's totally shifted my experience of myself from the inside out. So much so that I've really wanted to actually go even deeper with it for myself spiritually, and actually spend some time in celibacy to go, to really kind of explore what it is, what is my connection to my body and to my soul and to God. I really wanted to know that without any other distractions. So I feel like I've got to that point now where I really want to honor that for a period of time, and go a little bit deeper, and elevate my energy, and so it it's completely changed me.
So when you say celibacy, do you mean just focusing on your own like self-pleasure practices and not having sexual relations with like a third person, a second person? I guess. I don't know what I'm saying.
To say third, second, fourth. So me, and because for me that's a big thing, because I've been in relationship after relationship after relationship, and so I have had periods of time But I really feel like carving out that space for me where I'm really just going, right,
Yeah.
I'm able to do that as well now. I'm able to see that that's what I need to do for me. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I feel a depth of connection in my body that I don't feel like I'm reacting as well anymore to situations. That I'm shutting myself down or going into freeze mode, which is, I feel, a lot of the work that we do when we're connecting with our wombs and our bodies, is that we're dissolving that fight, flight, or freeze mode, and we're being able to soften into more, being more receptive and holding more, and our capacity for life, as you were saying, like, that deepens, and it gets easier for our systems to really receive ourselves and to receive life and to receive pleasure and to receive love.
Yeah. That really resonates with my journey too, this like idea of celibacy. And it's been an interesting journey in the context of a marriage, where it's like, okay, we met when my husband was 18 and I was 19, and we've like grown up together really. And the person and my relationship with my sexuality when I was 19 is, was completely different to the journey that I started going on in my 30s. And I had to create that space, and I had to say, and sometimes, well, it hasn't been for a little while now, but to say, like, actually I need to go and explore my body and my connection with myself and my sexuality, and I feel like I need to kind of put our sex life together on hold for a bit, because I can't do this at the same time. It doesn't work. So I completely resonate with that piece, and that, yeah, I guess in the context of evolution, I'm sure that will continue. There'll continue to be periods where that feels really supportive. But that requires so much like communication and like vulnerability in a relationship, and breaking down this whole like expectation and obligation and all that programming around like what is required in a relationship. But yeah, so
that's really powerful. That's so powerful that you're in marriage and that you're reframing what marriage means to you, and that you're not being completely dictated to by what society says marriage is, or what religion says marriage is. And yeah, I mean, doing that inside a relationship as well, that's very powerful, because I feel like some people may think that's not possible as well. Like, when to be on my own to do that, there are lots of different ways in which we can explore ourselves depending on where we're at and what we resonate with. And that's powerful for your children as well, to witness that and be around.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, I'm really blessed. My husband is like, he's like really supportive, and also has found it really hard. But yeah, I would love to know. So tell us about the cosmic cock and your experience with the cosmic cock.
Yeah, this is something that I so love to recommend as a way into connecting with that frequency of the masculine that I really needed to heal in myself. I felt I had a very distorted relationship with the masculine that didn't feel good. felt like the penetration was taking a sense of, like you said, obligation of like having to just, you know, be penetrated. I have to be penetrated because that's what someone else wants. And whew, that, yeah, again, that was a deep one. So for me, supporting on different levels, I'm working internally with the yoni wand, and I'm, you know, connected with that as something that's penetrating me, that I can connect with how, you know, I want to be penetrated, and also my yoni can speak to me, my womb can speak to me. You go deeper into being able to listen to, oh no, that doesn't feel good, or oh no, don't penetrate, I'm not ready. You know, also that programming that we need to be immediately ready to receive. So this meditation visualization just came to me when I was working with my yoni wand, connecting with my womb, was this open up, be penetrated through your whole being. And this was like, whoa, you know, because I was just kind of working with my womb being penetrated in my heart, you know, my heart. But then there was this calling for like this full penetration, and to visualize that this cosmic cock was moving through my crown chakra and penetrating through my crown into my third eye, into my throat, my heart, my womb, my root, and all the way back, you know, like a full penetration. And that just opened me up so much to a new way of visualizing the masculine energy and the holding of that penetration, and coming from a space of love and desire to, you know, relieve a lot of tension. And so I started working with this visualization to open me up in other ways, so that I also wasn't just searching for that orgasm, for that peak, you know, moment, because I feel like, you know, we're so used to wanting that instant gratification, or that feeling of like release, which is very powerful internally, but really kind of opening me up to, I can also receive this whenever I need to as well. It doesn't also have to be a sexual thing in terms of orgasm. It kind of opened just my energy field up completely to being more receptive in my life. So that's actually a really powerful visualization. I felt to open you up to being receptive, just in life, and to heal any you know, beliefs around what's possible as well. I felt that really important medicine.
Yeah, it feels super powerful. It's like
I also don't need to do anything.
No.
You know, we can also get into that sense of like, oh, but we also need to be doing to create that orgasm. But actually the energy, the sexual energy that we have, we can feel that orgasmic pulse through us, which helps us then to open our capacity for you know, physical orgasm.
Yeah. How would you say that, from like, how would you describe that your orgasms have changed from when you were like using the vibrator and it was like kind of a, like you said, like a quick release, to what you experience now? And like, and have there been any, like, what challenges have you had along the way, I guess?
Yeah, the resistance. The resistance, because originally feeling like I want instant gratification and a quick fix, I was like up against that, you know, that like, oh, I just want it to be done and over and I want to feel good. So, you know, really sitting with that and being with that and recognizing that that's how I was feeling, but that really actually I wanted to receive more pleasure in my body and in my life in general. So opening up and kind of softening to that way of thinking, like I just want a quick fix. So that's kind of what I was also bringing into my pleasure practice, was I'm opening up to more. I'm opening up to more pleasure. I'm opening up to more life. And I don't need or desire that quick fix. So that was sort of the challenge that I was up against. Every time I was like, oh, I'm doing that thing where I just want to get to the I just want to get there.
Yeah.
I had that feeling. But the more that I was able to hold myself in the pleasure, the more that my orgasms have become such a different experience. It's been just so much more energy that I felt, so much more connection, and just taking up more space in my body as well. And that's where breath has been really powerful for me, like remembering the breath, remembering to breathe deeper and to go slower, and to sit with myself and to really connect and to take up that space, which is what I tell myself and my clients all the time. Taking up space. Remember to take up space, because we're so taught to shrink ourselves as women. Really taking up space, taking the time, just going a bit deeper, going a bit slower. And so, yeah, that process has really changed my experience of the feelings, the sensation, the connectedness, and it's been a much more spiritual experience for me, rather than just like having a physical release. And that's also reflected in my life now. I feel I'm more able to hold myself more. I have more capacity for pleasure. And yeah, I'm not constantly looking for that quick fix.
Yeah, I resonate with this a lot. I have impatience is like one of my deep, like ingrained kind of patterns, and learning to cultivate patience and really like sink into it, it has been massive for me, and still continues to be. Like I still have it's ongoing. But what I found that my body does now, it's really interesting, is like if my body can like switch, like there can be times where like a clitoral orgasm is like just the right thing, and then other times, and it kind of can feel like quick fixy, but it just feels like right. And then other times where my body just, it like switches, and it's like the clitoris is not going to do it. Like there isn't, my body's not even open to that, like that route today, like, or in this moment. And it's like there's time and there's space, and like everything is like saying like, no, this is going to be this, like this is slower, this is the time where we're going deeper, where we're connecting deeper. And the only thing that like my body is responding to is like that like deep like opening and penetration, and it's like, no, we're going like, we're in an internal orgasm space today, and we're moving like, we're moving slowly, and this is where we are, and like then just surrendering to that and sinking into it. And then I find like, wow, okay, my body just knows what it wants and what it needs, and it's like yes. And sometimes I'm resistant to it. I'm like, oh really? But that means I've got to wait how long?
I know. It's such a response to life as well, I think. Like you said, like your body knows what you need, and sometimes that quicker, release is actually what your body is wanting and desiring. And depending on what's going on with your life, like, emotionally and energetically, so you're just handing over the reins to your body. It's a big thing, isn't it? You know, the submission to your own body knowing better than your ego is, whew, that's a dance. It's always going to be a dance as well. You know, it's not like you just sort of don't have those moments in life where you're feeling frustrated and you just want to have a release. I think it's just bringing awareness, isn't it? This is what these practices do, and deepening into your body is bringing more awareness, so you feel more empowered to make the decisions that actually feel good and right for you.
I feel like we're pretty much like coming to completion time. Is there anything that you want to share that you feel that you haven't kind of had the opportunity to?
I feel like just the final piece would be, also, I've talked a lot about connecting with the yoni wands, but actually personally for me, because I used to rely on something, you know, like a vibrator or you know, sexual intimacy with a partner, for me a very big piece of reclaiming my pleasure has actually been working with my own hands and not needing to have anything else, and realizing that actually, wow, that can be just as pleasurable and powerful, if not more so in some cases, when I'm feeling like maybe a little bit like off balance, or perhaps doubting myself in moments of that. I'm coming to my pleasure practice and I'm thinking, actually, no, I want just my hands. I want to feel that depth of me and me, and that it's okay. And that's been really beautiful to reconnect with my hands and my touch, and actually feeling, you know, my yoni and my womb, and really getting curious about what she feels like physically. Really powerful.
Yeah, that feels incredible, and it's like the ultimate intimacy, isn't it? Like when you have a toy, like, or like some kind of what do you like, I don't know, like a wand or anything that is not your body touching your body, then they can be amazing. But it's and my journey hasn't been with wands so far. I used to use a vibrator, but it was like I don't know what they're made of, like silicon, and that was like a while ago. And then since then it has been hands. But for me, it did as well feel really important for you, like I think after having kids as well, like like looking at my yoni, and then like see, because like the changes that happen after childbirth, and then like feeling inside, I think I had so much resistance to that, and I was so scared to feel like, I don't know what I thought I was going to find. But it's been like, I can really resonate with that level of like intimacy that facilitates with you and you. It's like
and when your body's changing, of course, as well, like that's it's really powerful to check in with what's actually there, because we can go into that disillusioned space of like, well, I've had this happen and this happened, and actually physically connecting brings you back into yourself and grounds you, and that feels like a really important piece, because we're always changing, and especially as women, if we're, we have all these, passages of our lives that we go through, and so it can be a real anchor into accepting where we are on our journey as a woman.
Thank you so much.
Full.
Oh, it's my like. I'm enjoying these conversations so much. It's like, yeah, I feel so amazing to be like sending this information, like putting this information out and like allowing people to have these insights and perhaps then, you know, continue or start their own journeys. It feels just like so nourishing and delicious.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful space to be able to share in. I'm really grateful because I feel like I shared a lot of pieces of my journey which I always find really nourishing, as to, you know, to really follow a thread so that people understand a bit more about how it works.
Yeah, thank you for your openness and I was gonna say courage, but like courage too, but the courage has been, I think, all the way along.
Yeah.
How
at the same time.
No, you go.
I was just gonna end actually with the speaking about why I call myself Earth Body Priestess. Is because for me the journey has been reclaiming my priestess, which is also, I think, a huge part of why I felt my body wasn't my own, because of lifetimes of, you know, feeling that, and in my past lives, and also connecting with the feminine Christ is a big part of my work. And I do support women who resonate with that priestess path, which is the soul depth, I suppose, that I've spoken to, and that we can, you know, reclaim ourselves and be empowered to share our wisdom, and our gifts, which is a big part of the priestess journey as well. And that's something that I do one-to-one and in temple space and group space as well. So I just wanted to share that, which is why priestess has resonated with me in my journey, and why I kind of place that as part of my title.
And how can people find you? Like, how can people connect with you?
So on Facebook, I'm Gigi, Gigi, which is very simple. Also on Instagram, Earth Body Priestess. And then I have some links through my bios on both Facebook and Instagram to my YouTube channel, Earth Body Priestess. Really reach out, and I love to talk, you know, and to really hear from people. The intimacy piece is important for me when I work with women.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gigi.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you so much and everything that you're doing in the world.
Thank you, you too.